Welcome to another episode of DilSe Stories. We have once again a very special guest, Shashak Bharadwaj. Namaskara, sir.
Namaskar.
All right. Can you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
I'm Shashank Bharadwaj from Mysore, a heritage city of Karnataka. So I born and brought up in Mysore. I'm from fourth generation musical family. Like my father, grandfather, great grandfather, all are musicians, especially Harikatha Vidwans. So as well, the special thing is also my ancestors were craftsmen also. So my grandfather also used to carve on stones and wood. So my father also a good craftsman. Um, I am both musician and craftsman. So I did all my schooling and MCA in Mysore, and later on I started pursuing in art as a full-time artist.
Great. And you said you are a musician, and I'm sorry that we weren't able to hear you. You're a musician
Yeah.
and craftsman,
So I
did you?
practiced Carnatic music, especially Carnatic music, for more than 12 years with three different gurus. And my mom is a violinist, and my father is a keyboard and mandolin player. He's a very good player of keyboard mandolin. Also, he's a sandalwood carver, sculptor, and also he's a very good artist. He was a very good artist.
Right. So with you, you said you're a musician and you are a, how do you identify yourself? You're a musician and did you say
Craftsman.
craftsman? Okay, craftsman. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So because the Mysore painting, it belongs to a craft, handicraft.
Got it. And
Yeah.
my name is Dr. Parag Bharadwaj, and just for the record, myself and our guest today are not related, not related, but I'm sure somewhere along the way, because we have the last name and the way things work, I'm sure
Yes.
we are distantly related, but we
Yeah,
don't know each
obviously.
other. We don't know each other, historically. So, yes,
I'm so glad to see you, sir. Yeah.
pleasure is all mine. Please tell us about Mysore art because this is something that I have not heard before.
Yeah. The Mysore art, Tanjore art, and Surpur art. Three main art which is from Vijayanagara. So you know the Vijayanagara Empire is like very rich culture, and we can see lot of art forms in Vijayanagara Empire. So in that era it was not like a Mysore painting or Tanjore painting. It was mural works actually. So just like Ajanta Ellora, all paintings were painted on the temple walls, and they are decorating all the walls of palace and everywhere. It's mural work. The mural work is mainly like painting on the walls of temples and palaces. In that time, it was like that. So after the Battle of Tarikota, uh, when it was acquired by some other religion, and the artists were refused to paint under the different religion kings and all. So they started searching of the Hindu kings who can encourage their art forms for their like they refuse to do other god and goddesses. They want to do only Hindu god and goddesses and Indian mythology especially. So they started falling down of the South India. So some people were settled in Srirangapatana. That time it was not like Mysore small city. The Mysore is complete Karnataka used to call as Mysuru. So and some people were migrated to Tanjavur, and some people were settled in northern part of Karnataka, which is called Surpura. And these three art forms are migrated from Vijayanagara only. So when some few peoples were settled in Srirangapatna. In that time, the Wadiyar was not ruling that part of king region. So in that time, the Tipu Sultan was ruling, and he encouraged artists to paint on his Darya Daulat Palace, which is Samar Palace, what we call it. It is in Srirangapatna. The artists who came from Vijayanagara, they are used to paint and decorate the palaces of Darya Daulat. So later, very soon, the Tipu Sultan was killed by British, and the kingdom is handed over to Wadiyars. In that time, the Mummadi Krishnaja Wadiyar was taken the kingdom. And what he did is he written a book called Sri Tattva Nidhi. So the Sri Tattva Nidhi is the very beginning stage of this Mysore style painting. The Mysore style painting, it was not Mysore painting so far actually. So Mysore, what Mummadi Krishnaraja did is he encouraged the artists who were migrated from Vijayanagara to Srirangapatna. He written a book called Sri Tattva Nidhi. So what is Sri Tattva Nidhi? We have 18 Puranas, as you know, like Shiva Purana, Brahma Purana, Vishnu Purana. Like we have 18 Puranas. The Raja, what he did is he took one avatar, like Shiva avatar, and he fetched all avatars of Shiva in 18 Puranas, like Nataraja, Rudra, Bhairava. Like we have so many forms of Shiva, and he fetched all the information from 18 Puranas and he collected all the information. He did one book called Shivanidhi. Like that, he fetched all the Vishnu avatars in 18 Puranas and he did one book called Vishnu Nidhi. Like that, he did 9 volumes. And also some more interesting volumes called Graha Nidhi, which tells about more about the astrology, solar system, everything information. And there is one more very much interesting volume is Kautuka Nidhi. So Kautuka Nidhi is which tells the 122 forms of Hatha Yoga. So that's the relation between Mysore and yoga. If some people tells why Mysore is a hotspot of yoga, the one of the reason is because of the Kautuka Nidhi. Kautuka Nidhi is it tells the all the outdoor games things and indoor games how to play. Like it contains a lot of physical activities in that book, and especially 122 Hatha Yoga forms. So like that the Maharaja did the 9 volumes of book called the Sri Tattvanidhi. If you ask what's the reason of artist and this book means, you may know the iconography. So which is a pictorial representation of some shloka, dhyana shloka. Example, there is one dhyana shloka for one god, like Nataraja. There is one dhyana shloka. The in dhyana shloka it tells everything about that god, like what he wears, how many hands he has, what's the posture of that Nataraja. Each and every specifications were explained in Dhyana Shloka, and Maharaja tells artists to paint according to the Dhyana Shloka. The artist will imagine according to the Dhyana Shloka how many hands and what he wears and what are the features of that god, and artists started painting that all god and goddesses according to the Dhyana Shlokas. So like that, it was like 1,500 pages of book, total 9 volumes. It's called a Sri Tattvanidhi. So it
And
is the one era of
if you
style
if you don't
painting.
mind my asking, I'm sorry to interject, but how old is this book? How old
So
are these nine
the book
books?
is written in 19th century.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it is written in 19th century, and it is the one era of Mysore style painting. So far, there is no much intricate works in that book. It is very simple, as like you look in mural works. It is very simple. The paintings were very simple, but it represents each specification of god and goddesses. So later on, the old palace of Mysore was burned and in accident, and the Maharaja constructed a new palace. So it is like a more opportunity for an artist to get influence with so many cultures, like British culture. Even British culture is influenced by the artist, and French culture, Persian culture. Many cultures were adopted. The specialty of Mysore Maharaja is he used to adopt all good things from every culture. Example, if you see the Mysore Palace, it's Indo-Western style, and there is a lot of England lamps and mosaics of Brazil glasses. Everything is adapted to his palace. So same thing happened to the artist. So artist should not be restricted. He should be open up for many techniques, and he can use whatever is possible to his work. So like that, the artist were later try to use some gesso work, gold work. So in Mysore technique, now at present, it's firstly they do embossing part, which is 3D embossing part, and they apply gold application and they do painting and outline work. There is a lot of procedure for the Mysore painting. So like that, the artists were influenced to the many techniques as well. They influence to the costumes of the Maharaja as well. So example, the Mysore silk saree, so and also pearl set and all the intricacy of the jewelry works, and most of the jewelry saris were influenced by the Maharaja and Maharanis what they are wearing. So the artists were influenced and they started doing all those in their paintings. So this is how the like generations of Mysore painting were developed so far.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for walking us through the history and the evolution of Mysore art. But what makes it unique? Is it the style of the painting? Is it the process? Is it the kind of paints that are used? Is it the drawing? Or is it
Yeah,
all the above?
actually, most of the people were confused between Mysore style and Tanjore style. So both the style looks very similar because in both the style of painting they use my gold work and muck work. What we call muck work is gesso work, the 3D effect work, what we call. So in Mysore style painting, it is very intricate designs. I can show you one. So hope you can see, right? So when you see the all the designs, it's very intricate gesso work. So
This is
this is the
amazing, and
Padmavati.
this is all done by hand.
Yeah, completely handwork.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is Padmavati. And in Tanjore painting, the gesso work is quite a big. The reason is what I said is because of the regional influence. So we are influenced to the most intricate works where the Cholas, it was the Chola period in when the Tanjore painting influenced, the Chola warriors were used to wear very broad ornaments, like it was very huge and mass ornaments. So same thing was influenced by the artist and they are doing like thick gesso works and kanchi saris, which is very completely golden saris. So there is a very little difference between Mysore and the Tanjore style. In Tanjore style, they use stones and semi-precious stones and all. In Mysore painting, we are not using any stones or anything because we do very intricate designs where the stones can't fall. So these are the technical difference between Mysore and the Tanjore.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now,
Yeah.
let's switch gears and actually go back to you in terms
Yeah.
of you said you come from a family, I would just in a broad category, I would say they're artists, right? And
Yeah.
more so into music. What got you interested in painting?
Um, Actually, it was not started very suddenly. When I am 3 years kid, I used to do with the clay, Ganesha and all. So when I am 3 years kid, I collected bricks and I powdered the bricks and I mixed with the water and I was doing a Ganesha when I'm 3 years old. The reason is the brick is very hard, so that if we powder and again we make it, it will be very strong. My ideology was like that in 3 years kid. So I used to do with that bricks powder in that age 3 years kid. Even today, my mother preserved all those idols actually.
Yeah, I was
Like
going
that.
to ask, yeah, maybe when we have you some other time, we'll get to see those.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like that, when I'm very young, I used to like do so many craft works, especially with the sculpture. I was more interested in childhood. Mm, when I'm 4 or 6, 7 years, I used to do Ganesha, Krishna, like that, God and goddesses. I could have drawn very easily in very young age. So unfortunately, I lost my father when I'm 5 years old. So later on, I developed my skills myself. I have not been to any classes or anything. So I'm completely self-taught artist. So it's all about effort and dedication, I can say. So, but being a middle class family, even I should pursue my education as well. So I completed my education, but still I have not left my painting. So I never stopped painting. So I used to practice when I'm free. I used to practice parallelly. My mother practices music as well. So my mother is a violinist. She used to practice in music, and also I went with a few senior artists to pursue more in music as well. I did my senior and everything in music, Carnatic music especially. Also, I learned mandolin, playing mandolin myself with the guidance of my mother. Yeah, I gave many programs in vocal as well in mandolin. I don't know when I'm like I think after completed my second PUC, I get influenced more to the artworks because my environment, I saw many legendary artists. So whenever I saw, I'm very much influenced to do and replicate their works. That I don't know. Suddenly, it was completely changed in mind, where the music was getting very reduced, and I'm more pursuing in my art career. Uh, After my masters, I did my masters, MCA, master in computer application. I worked like 4 to 5 years in IT field. Then I completely switched on to the artwork, especially for the Mysore painting, to pursue more, and I want to do more research in Mysore painting. Now I'm just going with the Mysore style painting.
So you're working full, your focus now full time is on art and your artwork.
Yes,
Very nice. And just for the sake of our audience, I think second PUC is 12th standard, right? Or 12th grade.
yes, yes.
Okay, great. So, yeah, that's an amazing and fascinating journey that you've described. Uh, what typically, how long does it take for you to do a painting?
In my beginning stage of like art career, I used to paint like 15 hours a day. Actually, to get that grip in painting, I used to work 15 hours, and I took around 1.5 2 months to complete one work in early stage of my art career. So now I'm taking 1 week to complete one work, because the process of Mysore style itself is a very long process. So now I'm taking minimum 1 week to complete one A3 size of work.
And how many hours a day? Still 15?
Minimum it will take 8 to 9 hours now. So
That's a lot
yeah,
of
but
effort.
also,
Yeah.
also I understood that we should give some time for the painting as well. So we should not do continuously. We should give the time to analyze and think what we can do much better. S- It should not be a mechanical thing to go continuously. So we should give some break to analyze something. If there is any change or we have to correct something, so we get some breathing space to analyze the work.
Now you mentioned that there are scriptures that describe what a particular deity looks like. So
Yes.
how do you go about with your painting? Do you use your imagination? Do you read the scriptures, or do you see something that has already been uh, worked on by another artist, and then you try to replicate it? What is your process? How do you start off, with conceptualizing a painting?
Um, the big problem for an artist to show his creativity is the we do more into the commission works. So because it's a very expensive art, so we cannot afford to make a collection because it's a 24 karat gold work. So it's expensive work, but we get orders and we get commission to make an artworks. The people who especially the most of the people doesn't have the artistic view, so they come up with some picture for reference and they want to replicate the same thing for their home. So the artist doesn't have so much of freedom to develop his creativity. So that's the issue, not to explore more thing into the style of art. Yes, but even though we refer the book and we tell the Ganesha should not have like two tooth as a long tooth, which it should be broken one side. We try to explain them with some manuscript reference that it should be like this. At least we try to make some correction whatever is possible to that commission work. So yes, when we want to do some exhibitions, whenever it is about gallery, when we want to give some paintings to a gallery or some, we want to do some exhibitions, we refer some books and we started creativity in doing something to represent in different way. Example, one lotus can be represented in different ways. So like that, the artist creativity comes. Actually, art should also be a poetic also. To create something like something very different should be very poetic also as a.
Great. So, walk us through. I mean, to me, it seemed like there are different phases of that you go through, right? When you work on your piece of art. Um, do you start off with conceptualizing it, and then do you sketch it or draw it on paper? I'm assuming you use paper, right?
Yes.
So you draw it first, and then you make sure that the drawing looks nice, and then you start working on the painting of it, or you just walk us through like what are the phases, and when do you
Yeah.
consider it to be complete?
Yeah. First thing is we analyze the composition. So usually Mysore painting will comes with the composition like arch, pillars, floors, and arches. Many things, the many elements are in Mysore painting. So first we like make some plan for the composition, just like a plan layout. First we plan, and then we fix the deity and its position, and we take measures. There is no particular measures for Mysore painting because it's in folk art. If we consider it's a Shilpa Shastra, then it comes a lot of things like Dashatala, Panchatala. There's so many Shastras to adapt for Shilpa Shastra. But in Mysore painting, there is no such Shastras because it's in folk art. So there's a lot of between difference between folk and uh, classical art forms. The folk art itself gives its own beauty and has own representations. The main thing is we started doing with composition. Later we planned for the deity and we started doing sketch. So then we started doing sketch, and especially the ornaments is very important. What I have my new technique called freehand gesso. I won't do sketches for the like designs or anything. It should go with the flow in the gesso work. So very rough drawing we usually sketch, and while doing painting we do more detailing works.
Got it. So have you ever found yourself in a situation you started painting and then you look at it, your painting, and you're halfway through and like, no, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's so many times it was happened. We started doing correction, then finally the painting gets spoiled. So many times it was happened. So now I understood that I should keep it in some limit and I should not go with beyond that limit. So it happens to every artist. Each and every artwork is unsatisfied. It's not 100% satisfaction.
So who gives the final verdict after you're done with the whole painting? Do you show it to your colleagues or your mother, or you just step back and have a look at it after you take a break to say, hey, yeah, this is, I'm happy with this outcome?
Mm, I will show it. I will show to my wife. She's a greatest critic to me to tell whatever it is directly to me. So I will show to my wife, and she will say some corrections. A lot of corrections she will say. Then I analyze whether I could correct. If it's possible to correct, I will correct.
Got it. And it seems like this form of art is very well received, and you've done shows in India and abroad as well. So
Yeah.
tell us about the interest the public has in this form of art, and is it growing beyond Karnataka?
Yeah. Uh, Actually, I should say myself as a very lucky person because in very early stage of my art career only I got very good chances to explore many things, and I received two awards. One is Kala Tapasvi from Mysore, and another one is Ovia Chamal from Tamil Nadu. So I got two awards. It is in very young age of mine. Later on, I got very good chances to exhibit my works, and I got like private collectors all over the world, like Berlin, Australia, and Canada, USA, and I have done more than 20 25 countries for the private collections to my artworks. And I did my solo show in Udupi. Also, I got a chance to like give a guest lecturing about a Mysore painting in Manipal University. That was a very good experience for me to uh, showcase my artwork as well, to talk about the Mysore painting. Yes, I did my show in World Art Dubai. The exhibition name called as World Art Dubai. It's a very big story that I have been to the World Art Dubai. So when I said my handicrafts commissioner that I am going to World Art Dubai to exhibit my Mysore painting, and he was very surprised because it's a Mid East. Who will buy Indian god and goddesses in Mid East? He was very like wonder that why you're going and wasting your money, and it doesn't work like that. It was like. But I don't know. In a very inner soul of mine was telling to go and exhibit because uh, you don't want to see it as an art. You don't want to see it as an Indian religious work. You should see it as an art, and you should go and explore the world with the art. So I just went and exhibited my work, and it was very attracted by many other countries, and not only like Indian peoples, also the African people and other culture people were coming and asking about the art forms. I'm so much happy to explain our religion, culture, and everything to the other world of people. It was so shocking, and also one of the shocking thing is one of the like um, Malhaktam, I think his name, I've forgotten his name. He's related to the royal family of Dubai. He came and he tell that it is a Vishnu, right? He asked that. So I was so wonder that how he know about our culture and our god and goddesses. Later I got to know that every Arab uh, kings, they study the Indian mythology as well. So they study all other religious culture things. I was so happy that they are so transparent about the religious, and the they come and say that this is Allah. Yes, I say yes, this is Allah, because all forms of God is one power. So I believe in that. So it was so happy that in World Art Dubai is a very good platform for me to mingle with many artists, and we share so many things with different cultures and different people. And in from that, my life completely got changed, and my perception of art is completely got changed from.
Hats off to you to, be
And I sold
sorry.
my artworks as well in Dubai.
Oh, great, great. That's the icing on the cake, right? So, um, yeah, but it's great that you are it sounds like you're very adventurous. IT professional, but you're like, I'm going to do art full time and I'm going to go to the Middle East. So you seem to have a very adventurous streak, which is amazing. You did mention that you have clients around the world. Are they mostly Indian or are they non-Indians as well?
Non-Indian as well.
Very good. And where do you keep the gold paint in your house? Is what I want to know.
It's not in gold pen. There is a one community called Vark in India.
Okay,
So the community, they produce as a gold foils. You might have seen in on sweets and luxury items. They put the gold leaf on that.
right.
So the same gold foil we use it in our Mysore style painting, which comes in very higher quality.
Is it very expensive?
Not that much expensive. It is like 30% of price in one piece of work.
All right. So where do you see yourself going from here?
Now I am like I'm doing research about myself. So I want to research, like I want to see an art which should help to a humankind. So the purpose of an artist is like they document each and every era of life. If you get something in archaeology, it tells the era of the lifespans, right? So in which era of this artworks belongs, and like that, the artist document each era of the lifespans. So I want to like do something which helps a humankind to understand what is art, and also it should helps them to like I can give one example. There is one called Shimshu Mara. I can tell you Shimshu Mara. The Shimshu means poison. Mara means kill. So there is one avatar of Vishnu. It calls a Shimshu Mara. So what that avatar, it is not religious. What I consider is the god and goddesses, all the mythological stories of India. It's not in religious. When we see it in very depth, it tells something about our life. So just like a Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, it is not in religious, I can say. It tells more about our life lessons for us. Like that, the Shimshumara is the poisonous, the person who kills the poison. And the Avtara is the Vishnu Avtara is the scorpion Avtara. And the tip of that tail is the Dhruva, which is a pole star. So it's a stagnant star, you know about it, no? So what that Avtara represents is there is a lot of abstract distractions, and so many bad things will happen to your life. So you just cut off all those. You should mara, means you should kill all those things, and you should stand like a dhruva, like stagnant in your life. So like that, each and avtaras and each and mythological history tells more about our life. So how to live a very happy life, and how to be a strong, and it tells more about our willpower. So I'm doing something research about that, and I don't want to be like religious. If people says it's a Mysore painting, Tanjore painting, it's a religious. Yeah, it's religious when it comes to, and if you take one Ganesha and you keep it in your puja room and if you worship, it's a religious. Yes, definitely yes. But if you analyze more, why the Ganesha have big ears and it's about a jnana. So like that, if you analyze and you adopt your life, it tells something different.
Great. So it seems like you are also on a journey of self-realization, self-understanding,
Yes,
self-exploration, and that is amazing. So we would love to have you again in the future and for you to share your wisdom with us and our audience, right? Uh, so with that, we'll conclude our interview. And thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor to have you.
thank you, thank you.
Namaskar.